Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Juliana Gaviria, and today I have the pleasure to interview my classmate and co-worker Sandra Villegas. I would ask her some questions about language and culture. Sandra, first of all, what do you think is the relationship between language and culture?
First, Juliana, thank you very much for the invitation. I would say, in my personal opinion, and taking into account my background and knowledge, that language and culture are intimately related. We pass on our culture through our language. Language does not exist apart from culture, and the culture is reflected in language.
Completely agree. Thank you very much, Sandra. Second, what is the influence of culture in the process of a foreign language process?
Well, I think the culture it has a big influence when we learn in a second language and a foreign language in terms of communication, socialization, and stereotyping. A student who is learning a foreign language needs to be aware of the way in which the culture interrelates with language whenever the student is going to use it.
Excellent. Which cultural expressions do you know countries have through language?
Well, the body language refers to the nonverbal signals that we use to communicate. According to experts, this nonverbal signals makes up a huge part of daily communication. So let me give you an example. In Australia, for example, the thumbs up gives it's a sign of rude, but in Latin America, it's not. So including this type of cultural expressions in the classes will help our students to develop correctly in any social activity they have.
Yes. Okay. What do you think? Your personal opinion? Do we teach language using culture, or do we teach culture using language?
Well, in my opinion, we teach language using culture. As a teacher, we pay more attention to grammar, to vocabulary, to structures, and the use of the language. But sometimes we might forget that culture it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe can we include culture activities in our classroom, but not in an active way. I think that the students maybe read something about the culture, they maybe interact or talk about something, but we need to go deeply and help our students to make connections and to interact to each other and compare and contrast their culture with the ones they are learning.
Okay. Do you take into account culture in the strategies you use in your English classes? Can you give me some examples, please?
Well, to be honest, I do. I include culture in my classes. As I told you, I am a teacher of the little ones in first grade, so it's the first time that they start to understand why they are learning a culture or they are learning that language, and that involves culture. So in the class in the school where I work, we have a part of the curriculum based on such a cultural area, and in this achievement, we help or we work with mini projects where the students, based on topics, compare and contrast their culture, their traditions. They compare what they do with their family and what other kids from other countries do with families, and they start to make connections. Also, the school where I work, they have the ONU model. This model helps the students to understand how culture impact in the political situations we have right now. So
Yes.
as I told you, in the school where I work, we consider that culture is so important in order to get those connections with the new language.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Sandri. Thank you very much for your participation. I really appreciate all your answers. So, see you next time. Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you. It was a
Bye.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.